Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another fashion, beauty, and travel vlog. In this video, I'll be sharing my experience of traveling to Memphis, Tennessee and exploring Priscilla Presley's style, specifically her 60s era. This is the first part of my Tennessee series, and I'll also be including a bit of Nashville in this video. I hope you have a fun time watching this video and seeing what I got up to in Tennessee. So before I start the beauty portion of this video, I do want to give a trigger warning that I will be talking about grooming in this video because Priscilla's relationship with Elvis Presley is essentially that. She was 14 and he was 24 when they began their relationship. In Priscilla's memoir, Elvis and Me, she talks about how Elvis influenced her way of dressing, her hair and makeup, and her behaviors. She basically described herself as Elvis's living doll. Priscilla wanted to fit the image of what Elvis found ideal in a woman to maintain their relationship. This memoir inspired Sofia Coppola's 2023 Priscilla movie, and Sofia pulls certain parts of the book and mixes it with her directing style, which gave us an aesthetic movie that I personally enjoyed, and it influenced the making of this video. I'm not trying to glamorize Priscilla's situation. I'm here to talk about the reality of what happened and how she became a style icon through her relationship with Elvis. So to start off the makeup, I'm first going to thin out my eyebrows and make them very arched and round, just like Priscilla's in the 60s. I'm trimming the really long hairs and shaving the edges to get the desired shape. I'm then going in with a matte high coverage foundation to get an even base and setting my entire face with a loose powder. I'm lightly bronzing the edges of my face. I'm not trying to contour since that wasn't really a thing in the 60s, but I do want to define my features just a little. Then I'm going over with a peach blush on my cheeks and the tip of my nose to give a more youthful appearance. Moving on to my eyebrows, I'm brushing them in the shape that I want and then going in with a brow pen to get an arched and dark defined brow. I brush them out again just to soften them up and set them in place with a clear brow gel. Finally, I clean the edges of my brows to help shape them into that 60s arched and bold brow. I don't think Priscilla really wore bold eyeshadow, but I'm taking more of that Sofia Coppola aesthetic in this part of my makeup. I'm going in with a blue cream liner and heavily applying it all over my eyelid up into my crease. I'm going to blend the edges until it looks soft. Then I'm setting it all with a blue eyeshadow. And I continue to blend all of that color out until the edges of the makeup are soft. Next, I'm going to highlight my brow bone with a soft white color to help blend the blue edge of the eyeshadow. And of course, I'm going to blend more with the clean blending brush just to make sure everything looks smooth and seamless. To help open up my eyes, I'm going in with a white eyeliner on my waterline. Elvis wanted Priscilla to have an exaggerated 60s look, which is why Priscilla had such dramatic eyeliner and lashes. To start off the eyeliner, I'm going in with an eyeshadow to map out the shape of the liner. I first created the line on my upper lash line and winged it out, and repeated that same step on my lower lash line, drawing a line right underneath the white liner and winging it out. I also extended the top and bottom liners on the inner corner of my eyes. Starting the eyeliner with eyeshadow is a lot more forgiving than just going in with a pen. I clean up the edges and then go over the eyeshadow with my black eyeliner pen. To help brighten up my eyes, I put more white eyeliner in between the black lines I created. Priscilla used to apply 2 sets of false lashes on, so I went in with a bold black pair of lashes to achieve the same look. Moving on to my lips, I'm going in with a brown lip liner to create a bold edge around my lips. Next, I'm putting on a light cream lipstick in the middle of my lips and finally blending those 2 colors with a light peachy lip gloss. And that wraps up the makeup look. To achieve a beehive side swept hair, I'm first going to put heat protection on my hair and brush it out with a hot airbrush. Then I'm combing all of my hair to one side and putting just a tiny bit of hair serum to help smooth out my hair. To create more volume, I'm going to take a hair scrunchie and clip on bangs to add more hair to the top of my head. I split my hair to the side and part my hair in a triangular shape. And move that hair out of the way and place the hair scrunchie on top of my head and start pinning it down until it's secure. Then I take the clip-on bangs and attach them on top of the hair scrunchie to create a more slicked back and volumized hairstyle. Then I'm moving all of the side part on top of those hair pieces and teasing it out to create more volume. I go back and forth between teasing my hair and pinning it into place until I'm happy with how it looks. Again, the way Priscilla styled her hair was influenced by Elvis. He didn't like Priscilla cutting her hair short and wanted it to be jet black to match his. The final touches to this hair include adding a bunch of hairspray so it could stay in place and adorning one side of my head with an embroidered brooch. And that completes the beauty portion of this transformation. So now we're moving on to the fashion portion of this video. I only had one full day in Memphis, so I wanted to pick an outfit that would be comfortable for the weather, but would also reflect Priscilla's 60s style mixed with Sofia Coppola's aesthetic. Since Elvis controlled Priscilla's appearance, he also dictated what she wore. This includes the colors and patterns of her clothes and the garments that she chose to wear. For example, favoring skirts or dresses over pants. Priscilla states in her book that they would coordinate outfits when they were together and that Elvis would tell Priscilla to change if her clothes were dull or not dressy enough. In Sofia Coppola's movie, the outfits have a youthfulness to them and the main color associated with the film is baby blue. So I decided to wear a baby blue button-up top that has an eyelet floral layer and a collar to give it a schoolgirl feel. Everyone was wearing mini skirts in the 60s, so I paired the top with a white mini skirt that also has a white eyelet floral layer with a gathered hem. This outfit is also made out of lightweight materials since Memphis gets humid in the summertime. I wore white flats with black tipped toes and heels just to make it look classy and simple. And I accessorized with pearl earrings and a chunky blue heart ring. I also want to mention that I do love vintage fashion, but I do not hold vintage values. So that is how I got inspiration from all these different sources to create this outfit. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you're interested in some of these pieces, I actually have a couple of things up for sale on my Depop that are Priscilla Presley inspired. The link to my Depop will be down in the description. I also want to briefly mention that after Priscilla got a divorce from Elvis, she opened up her own clothing store in the 70s called Biz & Beau Boutique, which I think reflects her liberty and self-assurance post-divorce. This era is always overlooked because of her association with Elvis, but it reflects a moment in history when women began gaining so many rights in the US. She also started venturing out in acting and other creative endeavors, since all she knew at the time was abiding by Elvis's rules. So ladies, if you ever need a sign to break up with that man, this is it, because after you leave him, you're gonna have such a major glow up and opportunities will start knocking at your door. Moving on to the last portion of this video is my Memphis, Tennessee vlog. I departed LAX on the morning of July 28th, 2024 and arrived to Memphis that same night. I checked into my Airbnb and the next morning I woke up early and got ready for my full day in Memphis. I want to give a quick shout out to my Airbnb host Heidi for giving me the best experience and being so welcoming. I stayed in a small camper in her backyard that was comfortable and clean and really cute. The property is so much fun and I couldn't resist staying in a pink house that has many friendly street cats.
Hey, we're gonna get you fixed.
Hello tripod.
Hi, Chad.
I'll leave her property in the description below if you're ever looking for a place to stay in Memphis. The first location on my itinerary was to visit Graceland. Visitors park across the street from the actual property and get tickets to be transported by shuttle to the actual home, where you line up and wait for your group to enter the house. Priscilla moved into Graceland while she was finishing her last year of high school and lived there for 5 years before getting married to Elvis in 1961. She basically became the woman of the house, making sure things were just how Elvis liked them. After graduating high school, she didn't have plans for her future except to be with Elvis. He discouraged Priscilla from continuing an education post-high school and disregarded Priscilla's ambitions. Elvis didn't want Priscilla getting a job because he wanted a partner that would choose him over having a career. He also wasn't an emotionally supportive partner for Priscilla and didn't want to hear any of her problems. This isolated Priscilla into having no life outside of Graceland, which I think Sofia Coppola's movie did a good job at portraying. After I was done exploring the house, I went back to the other side of Graceland to explore. I'm not gonna lie though, it kind of gave Duloc, but I did check out several exhibits on display and the Lisa Marie private jet. The second stop on the itinerary was the Sun Studio, which is known as the birthplace of rock and roll. Music legends like Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash recorded music here. It was pretty packed inside and I didn't really want to take a tour, so I just briefly stopped to check it out. The next stop on my trip was the National Civil Rights Museum. This building used to be the Lorraine Motel, which is where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968. This museum highlights the history of how Black Americans shaped the U.S., starting from the enslavement of Africans into the U.S. and their fight to gain civil rights. I would recommend this museum to anyone visiting Memphis. Plus, the people who work here are really nice. It's definitely that Southern hospitality. After the museum, I headed to Beale Street, which is the birthplace of the blues. It would have been cool to visit during the night when it gets more lively, but I still enjoyed browsing through the shops and exploring the old buildings. I already hear music and I go look for it. I just love how retro and vintage it looks. Before I headed back to my Airbnb, I wanted to take a quick trip over the Mississippi River, which is the second longest river in the US. I just came back from crossing the Mississippi River. It was so nice. It was really big. It was a big river. And I came back to my Airbnb. I freshened up my makeup. Now I'm going to the beauty shop restaurant that used to be a beauty salon, and Priscilla would go get her hair done there. So I'm gonna go have dinner there and then just come back, freshen up, and get ready for tomorrow. So typically, women in the 60s would get their hair done once a week at beauty salons to get their hair up in big voluminous styles that would last them a couple days. And this is the spot where Priscilla would get her hair done back in the day. I like how they have vintage hair dryers as chairs to sit on, and I really enjoyed the food that they served. So another great spot I recommend in Memphis. Where the gay people are? Where the gay people at? So I'm really enjoying Memphis. This is like the only day I'll be here, but I really like it. I also just enjoy like how green and warm it is. I just stumbled upon this store and look! Oh, look at the one in the basket! Oh, I wish I knew about this earlier. Hey! 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 There's so many of them. So this place is called the House of Muse, and it's so cute. It's like a little cat adoption center. Next time I'll know. And that basically concludes my full day in Memphis. The following day, I had an early bus to Nashville, where I met up with my friends. So I hope you have fun watching the rest of this vlog. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this that I have coming up soon. Love you!
That's cute.
It's not the Eiffel Tower.
Where are we getting? Oh, are we eating first? Well, what?
Girl dinner!